Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update. All the physical releases coming to the Switch. It's Convenience Store Week, August the 7th until the 11th. 7-Eleven. Dead Cells, the Return to Castlevania edition, is the game this week that I think most people are excited about, which may say something considering this is like the third or fourth physical release of Dead Cells, but now with its best DLC yet, the Castlevania tie-in. At least that's what I'm told. I haven't played this game since around launch time, and I thought there was tons of content already, but apparently I'm wrong because they've added about 1 billion updates since launch, added in an overwhelming amount of gameplay to make one of the best indie games of all time. I know executive producers Issa, Dane Wilkinson, Punky God of Resin, Fawn Metal Luna, Brent McLean, Parsnip Coffee, and Instacritic have chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want to order this or any of the retail releases in this week's episode, check the links in the description, especially if you live in North America, because VGP is a great way to support this series, plus they have good prices in favourable Canadian money, and free shipping worldwide over 80 Canadian bucks. And if you purchase anything with our links, you can be in with a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon each week. And this week's winner is Alberto B. Congratulations, you will get an email from VGP in the coming days with your discount coupon. Thank you for your support. Pups and Purrs Pet Shop is a simulation game where you try to make cold, hard profit off cute, cuddly young animals. Feed them and train them up to be pawned off just in time for Christmas, and then their inevitable deaths of being thrown into a canal by March. Don't get a pet for your kid if you can't be asked to take care of it, because they won't. It's on you. I'm only seeing puppies and kittens here. There's no adult pets in sight, which leads me to believe once they get past a year old, you're gonna be forced to euthanize them. So no pressure, pet lovers. Sell them before the nasty needle man comes. A quick mention to Tunic. Many people were nice enough to point out that this is in fact releasing in Europe this week. Last week was a bit all over the place for me, as is Amazon. I don't know why they're making my life so difficult these days. They just like hide stuff from me. It's weird. Alright, the low print releases. Startup Company is PlayAsia's third exclusive release outside of their partnership with East Asia Soft. Yes, this is part of their Lone Ranger lineup, with them doing it themselves. This is a business management sim as you start up a company. I know it's not the most thrilling of games, not one to excite the gamer within, especially with that box art, but it is good, at least at what it sets out to do. Don't judge it too much, although I don't see this selling too many, especially compared to their first two releases, but at least it's a good game, although I wouldn't have done this one myself. Although full disclosure, they told me about this release like almost a year ago at this point, and it was at the time when I actually applied for a job there. I actually pitched to them to let me work for them to help them produce physical copies of games. And so when they told me about this, I didn't really want to be a dick right off the bat. I didn't want to say, it's gonna sell like 5 copies, guys, maybe don't do this one. No, I was like, yay, it's gonna be great, people are gonna love it. Please give me a job. But they didn't. Anyways, if you want to pre-order this, it's shipping in a couple of weeks, then check the links below because pre-orders are open right now, and you can support us at the same time by clicking and purchasing. PlayAsia is the #1 way to support us, and you can use our discount code SWTV23 for 5% off. There is a standard edition and a collector's edition available, and our executive producers, Precision Plague, Jennifer M, and Robotech have chosen this as their pick of the week. Same could be said for the second PlayAsia exclusive game in this week's episode, Kwaidan Azuma Manor Story. This time, it's one in partnership with East Asia Soft, and this is more up my alley. I do actually quite like this game, even from experience. It's not a great game, but it did have great potential. It's like a janky PS2 game that would be exclusive to Japan or something like that back in the day, but I love this kind of stuff. And back when I wanted to produce physical copies by myself, before I realized I have to buy a house and buy a car and child school fees, before all that, I did scout a lot of games. I played a lot of like cool indie games. This was one of them. I thought, I'll play it, see what I think, and it's alright. It's not great. Maybe I would not have made an offer to the publisher, but it was kind of close because it had the potential. It had the potential to be there. Speaking of potential, does anybody just want to give me like a big chunk of cash, like 50k? If you give me 50k to start this like physical thing, bringing Japanese and Asian games in English physically, then I'll give you 50% stake in the company that I might make up. It'd be awesome, I promise you. There'd be no BS, no bullshit, no overpriced collector's editions. You just get a nice standard physical copy. Maybe I'll chuck in a free soundtrack once in a while, something like that. It'd have nice artwork, bespoke artwork. Yeah, I'm not just gonna find some random artwork that they made for the game like 10 years ago. No, maybe 100k, 100k, 50% stake, you and me. The Play Asia don't want me, Juan and James, they don't fancy it, so I gotta do it myself somehow. By the way, pre-orders for this one will open on Thursday, so if you want to come back to this video then, click the links, I'd appreciate that. There is a standard and collector's edition. Tiny Thor is strictly limited games this week. That is actually the nickname my wife gives me when I've done a job well done. Tiny Thor, small but powerful. And a weird fetish for hammers. This is supposedly a decently made retro style platformer, something that you'd see on like the Mega Drive. It's got the visuals and the difficulty to match the feel of those old school titles. And it looks pretty good, to be fair. There's only a standard edition for this one, which is frankly a relief. Not everything needs a $60, $70 collector's edition, alright? And our executive producer Totally Grateful has chosen this as his pick of the week. He likes hammers as well. Alright, the import section, Play Asia territory, as per usual, links are below with our discount code. Thank you ever so much for your support. Railway Empire 2 looks to be an import exclusive, which took me by surprise. This is one of those games that you'd automatically think would have a Western physical, either out already or to be planned. But I double and triple checked, and it seems no. There's no Western physical release for Railway Empire 2. There's the first game, but there's no sign of this sequel. Or maybe that's some sort of meta simulation. Like if you've ever been in the UK, you know that trains are literally never on time and they show up when they feel like it. I think that this game is an allegory for that sort of thing. It'll probably turn up once they sweep the imaginary leaves off the track. But if you don't fancy that nonsense, well, the Japanese version has English, so not to worry. Lost in Play is releasing in Japan this week. Now you may remember Super Rare Games did this already and it sold out, of course, so it's interesting to see that it's now releasing in Japan. There's one small caveat though, there is no English. At least that's what Amazon Japan states. However, the thing about Lost in Play is that language is not actually needed. There's no written dialogue, no instructions, everything is projected visually, so language is not an issue. The only spoken language is a made-up one. You can literally be a caveman and enjoy this. Sorry, that's sexist, I mean caveman and cave wench, so anyone can enjoy this. The Japanese version is a nice alternative if you miss Super Rares. It's a super great point-and-click adventure game, funny and heartwarming. And it also has better cover art than Super Rare because it's not so dark. Koa and the Five Pirates of Mara is releasing in Japan this week. Kickstarter backers and Western retail is coming in September, I believe, so there's no real rush to pick up this Japanese version, but you can if you want to because it does have English. This is a sequel to Summer in Mara, but now they've made it into a 3D platformer rather than a chill life sim farming thing that the original was. I can't really remember. It was a weird mix, right? It looks pretty cute, and you know, why not? Our executive producers, Vey and Cartoon Soren, have chosen this as their pick of the week. A quick shout out to Senses Midnight, which is a Play Asia exclusive. They started shipping these late last week, so if you want to grab your Spooky Booba game, now is the time to do so. You can't grab Spooky Booba in real life unless you're in a close relationship with that person, okay? Another janky PS2 style game, love it! In Japan, they've also got these games coming. None of them have English, which is a travesty, that Soaring Sky Pretty Cure Soaring Puzzle Adventure Collection thing. Why does that not have English? I need that. Alright, it's the community spotlight, obviously with a bit of a build-up of people wanting to show off their pictures. I got a lot this week. Undead Light picked up this haul of games, including Unmetal, which looks pretty cool with that reversible cover. I think I like that more than the normal one. Andrew R picked up these games, including that pretty sweet collector's edition of Rain Code. I've heard the game isn't exactly up there with the likes of Danganronpa, but perhaps, you know, it's a decent start to a potential new series. Jess B sent in this photo, including a couple of essential imports there, and some great JRPGs. But I so want to get into the Legend of Heroes series, but it's just terrifying. How can anyone find the time? Lewis K sending this photo showing off Demonica, which is a game that's really not talked about much at all. In fact, you could say that about most VGNY releases. They don't get a whole lot of publicity, which is a bit of a shame. Executive producer Instacritic sent in this photo. I can see a couple of premium edition games as releases there at the bottom. Raji and They Bleed Pixels. They've gone a bit quiet recently. I don't know what their new releases are. Did they have like a showcase? Can't remember. Executive producer Cartoon Sorensen in this collage. Thanks for the support, I would assume, with PlayAsia and VGP. They are in Super Retro Platformer Collection, which also flew under the radar for many. I think if it was like a cheaper price, many would have snapped it up a lot more readily. Executive producer Vei, our man in Japan, sent in this photo picking up the excellent Cross Tales. I get people like didn't really believe me with my review. I got quite a lot of negative comments from people who obviously hadn't played it. I mean, you know, fair enough if you disagree with my opinion, but at least play it first before you say it's not close to being like Final Fantasy Tactics. You just look like a moron. Sojan got in this bunch of games, including what I'm dubbing Long Face Celeste and Wide-Eyed Tunic. Both great games. Not sure I like the covers though. McLaren got in the collector's edition of Bloodstained Double Pack from Japan, and wow, that looks like a real treat. I had no idea they packed so much stuff in it. I'm struggling to actually believe they managed to fit all of that in the box. There's got to be something I'm missing. Vast Neon sent in this photo, again with Bloodstained Double Pack Collector's Edition, as well as Espagaluda 2, which last I checked VGP had some in stock along with a lot of other limited run releases. Executive producer Alex M sent in this photo showing off a lot of games, including a few cool imports at the bottom. No Place for Bravery is actually quite a cheap import these days. I think PlayAsia have like 20 something bucks, which is not too bad. Elundara sent in this photo showing off these 3 releases. The more I think about it, the more I think Vesperia is my favorite Tales game. I used to say Symphonia, but after reviewing that for the Switch, I'm more vibing for Vesperia these days. I like the story and characters a bit better. Clara S sent in this Culture Collection. Missing a couple from Fun Box's output, but they've got the essentials at least. I wonder how many more they've got up their sleeve. Executive producer Precision Plague was one of many to show off their Nobunaga's Ambition Awakening. You guys definitely not wanting to miss out like many did with the Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Actually, part of me was hopeful that, Koei would reprint that, but it seems that was just a dream. Executive producer God of Resin sent in this photo with the usual triple pack of Super Rare alongside Blade Runner. I actually want that, but I just need to know, did they fix it? I know it was super rough when it initially released. Come on, somebody tell me, did they fix it? And if they did, is the patch on the cartridge? Torojima sent in this photo with some recent great imports with Etrian, Atelier, Cross Tales, woohoo! RPG imports, guys, I can't get enough of them. Executive producer JCross7776 sent in this photo showing off Nobunaga alongside the game book, which I am in. I wrote a small piece for that book about Kirby. I haven't actually seen most of it. I've seen like a little snippet, but I'm in there somewhere, and I believe you can still buy it. Like, you can buy some on the website if you missed the Kickstarter. All right, let's have a roundup. Robin H, Shane L, Habs, Katie Jane, Needless Dragon, World Funeral, Asura G, Gundam Wing Zero, Feig, Tap and Then Nap, Elissa, Bunny Bear, Rovest, Mickey McFlynn, Max1216, That Bloody Sadomasochist. Alright, please send me pictures on Twitter at SoWhatAboutGame. You can DM me or tag me. No, don't tag me in a post. Sorry, that's just from my memory. Don't tag me in a post. It won't work anymore, guys, okay? Email switchwatchspotlight@gmail.com. You can send it there, or you can send it in our Discord. The link to the server should be in the description. You can put it in the submission section. Once I open it up, I'll open it up on Tuesday or Wednesday, something like that. Please only send me one picture per week, guys, okay? Alright, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Get Physical. If you did enjoy it, and you did watch all the way through, please leave me a money bag emoji in honor of the money bag that I really want to start a business, okay? I need a cash investment. Alright, special thanks to our executive producers, as always, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metal Luna, Parsnip Coffee, Issa, Vade, Mental Traveler, A Phone, Jennifer M, Instacritic, Precision Play, Katacha, Osgolo, Totally Grateful, and Alex M. Plus you. Yeah, you're watching right now. I've already done that bit. Yeah. Dino Crisis. Go watch it. It should be out right now. I think I released it on Sunday. I mean, it's Sunday right now. I haven't released it yet, but I'm planning to, alright? Go watch it. It's not my best one, but it's one, alright? Please go watch it.